When you walked away that evening, I didn't run after you. Not because I didn't care, but because I was tired of begging someone to stay who had already left in their heart. That night, I sat alone in my room, the same room where I used to smile at your messages, the same place where I would wait for your good morning like it was sunlight. But now, the silence was louder than any argument we ever had. I kept reading our old chats. You used to say, "I'll never leave you," and I believed you. Maybe that was my mistake. I believed every promise. I trusted every word. I built my future around sentences that you probably forgot the next day. But I didn't forget. I remember everything. I remember the first time you said you were proud of me. I remember how my heart felt when you said you needed me. I remember how I stayed awake at night just to talk to you when you couldn't sleep. And I remember the first time I felt you pulling away. You became busy. You became distant. You became someone I had to beg for attention from. And I still stayed. Do you know why? Because I loved you more. Then I loved my own peace. I ignored the pain. I ignored the red flags. I ignored my own tears. I kept telling myself, it's just a phase. They will come back. They still love me. But love doesn't make you feel alone. Love doesn't make you question your worth. Love doesn't make you feel like you're too much somewhere between your silence and my overthinking. I lost myself. I stopped laughing like before. I stopped sharing my problems. I stopped expecting anything from you because every expectation turned into disappointment. And the worst part, I still defended you. When people told me they're not treating you right, I said, no, you don't understand. They're just stressed. I made excuses for you. I covered your mistakes with my loyalty. I protected you even when you were hurting me. That's what love did to me. It made me blind. But the day you left, something inside me broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like a glass falling on soft ground. No one heard it, but I felt it. For the first time, I didn't cry because you left. I cried because I stayed for so long. I cried because I gave everything to someone who was slowly giving up on me. I cried because I realized I deserved better, but I accepted less. And that realization hurt more than your goodbye. After you left, days felt empty. I would open my phone and still expect your message. I would see your name in my contacts and feel my chest tighten. I wanted to call you so many times. I wanted to say, please come back. Let's fix this. But I didn't. Because love should not be forced. If someone wants to stay, they stay. If someone wants to fight for you, they fight. You chose silence. So I chose self-respect. It wasn't easy. Every night, memories attacked me. Every song reminded me of you. Every place we talked about visiting together felt like a broken dream. But slowly, very slowly, I started healing. Not because I stopped loving you, but because I started loving myself. I began doing things I stopped doing. I spent time with people who valued me. I started focusing on my goals. I reminded myself that I'm not hard to love. I just loved the wrong person. And maybe you didn't leave because you didn't care. Maybe you left because you weren't ready for something real. Because real love requires effort. Real love requires patience. Real love requires choosing someone every single day. And maybe I was choosing you. Alone. Today, when I think about you, I don't feel anger. I feel sadness. Not because you're gone, but because we could have been something beautiful if only you had tried. If only you had spoken. If only you had fought for us like I did, but life doesn't move on if only. So I moved on too. I still wish you well. I still hope you find happiness, but I also hope that one day you realize what you lost, not because I want you to regret, but because I want you to understand. Someone loved you with everything they had. Someone chose you when they could have chosen anyone else. Someone stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. And that someone was me. I don't hate you. I don't blame you. But I won't beg you anymore because now I know my worth. And the next time I love, I will love someone who stays, someone who fights, someone who doesn't make me feel alone while holding my hand. This is not just a goodbye to you. It's a goodbye to the version of me who accepted less than she deserved. And I promise myself never again. After everything ended, I thought the hardest part was over. I was wrong. The hardest part wasn't the goodbye. It was the days after, when nothing felt the same. I would wake up and for a few seconds forget that we weren't together anymore. Then reality would hit me like cold water. No message from you, no missed call. No good morning with that soft tone I used to wait for, just silence. And silence can be cruel. It gives you too much time to think. I kept asking myself questions I knew had no answers. Was I not enough? Did I love too much? Did I become boring? Was there someone else? These questions lived in my head, rent free. They followed me everywhere while eating, while working, even while trying to sleep. You may have moved on quickly, but I was still fighting battles inside my heart. I replayed our last conversation 1,000 times. I searched for clues. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I should have stayed quiet. Maybe I should have fought harder. But then I realized something painful. I was always the one fighting for us, for you, for conversations, for attention, for effort. Love should not feel like a one-sided war. And yet, I stayed on the battlefield alone. Do you remember how I used to tell you everything? My fears, my dreams, my silly thoughts. I trusted you with parts of me that no one else had ever seen. And now those memories feel heavy because I shared my world with someone who slowly stopped making space for me in theirs. Still, I don't regret loving you. I regret losing myself. I stopped asking for what I deserved because I was scared you would leave. But you left anyway. And that taught me the biggest lesson of my life. If someone wants to leave, they will. No matter how perfect you try to be. No matter how patient you are. No matter how much you sacrifice. Love cannot survive where effort dies. There were nights when I almost texted, my fingers would type your name. My heart would race. I would think, maybe they miss me too. Maybe they're waiting for me to message first. But then I remembered how it felt to beg, how it felt to wait hours for a reply, how it felt to feel small. And I would put my phone down. Not because I didn't miss you, but because I finally started respecting myself. Healing is strange. Some days I felt strong, like I didn't need you anymore, like I was finally free. Other days I missed you so much it physically hurt. I would see something funny and want to send it to you. I would hear a song and remember how we talked about dancing together someday. The future we imagine still lives in my mind sometimes, but I've stopped living there because that future only existed in words, not actions. And love is proven by actions. I don't know if you ever think about me. I don't know if you ever miss the way I cared. I don't know if you realize that not everyone will love you the way I did, but I hope you do. Not for my ego, but for your growth. Because one day someone will love you deeply. And I hope you don't take them for granted the way you took me. As for me, I'm not the same person anymore. Heartbreak changes you. It makes you stronger even when you don't want to be. It teaches you boundaries. It teaches you that love without respect is not love at all. I still believe in love, but now I believe in mutual love, balanced love, healthy love, the kind where both people choose each other every day, not just when it's easy. You were a chapter in my life, a beautiful one at the beginning, a painful one at the end, but a chapter nonetheless, and I refuse to let one chapter define my whole story. I am learning to smile again, to trust again, to dream again, not because I forgot you, but because I forgive. And most importantly, I forgive myself for loving too much, for staying too long, for accepting less. This is not revenge. This is growth. And if our paths ever cross again, I won't ask why you left. I won't ask if you regret. I will simply smile. Because I survived loving you, and I survived losing you. And that makes me stronger than I ever imagined.